The little boy heard the mountain before he saw it. A deep growl rolled across the valley while he sat beside the river with his mother. The water trembled gently. Birds flew overhead in huge numbers, escaping toward the horizon. Then came another sound. Boom! The mountain exploded with fire. The boy froze in fear as black smoke climbed into the sky. Hunters shouted loudly. Everyone began running toward the cliffs. The ground shook so hard he fell into the dirt. His mother grabbed his hand tightly. Run! Behind them, flames spread through the forest. Giant trees cracked and collapsed. Mammoths stampeded across the valley, crushing everything in their path. Ash rained from above, covering the tribe in gray dust. The air became impossible to breathe. The boy looked back once and saw glowing lava pouring down the mountain like a river of death. Their homes vanished beneath fire. Everything they owned disappeared in seconds. One of the hunters carried the tribe's oldest elder on his back. Another dragged an injured child through the smoke. Nobody stopped moving because stopping meant death. After hours of running, they found shelter inside a cave high above the valley. The tribe huddled together in darkness while thunder-like explosions echoed outside. The boy could hear people crying. All night, the volcano roared. When morning finally arrived, silence covered the land. The tribe slowly stepped outside. The valley below was destroyed. Black ash covered the trees, the river, and the ground where their camp once stood. The boy looked at the smoking mountain and realized something terrifying. Nature could destroy everything at any moment, but his people had survived, and survival was all that mattered. Nearly 1 million years ago, survival depended on instinct, strength, and luck. In a dangerous prehistoric world, early humans faced predators, starvation, brutal weather, and sometimes nature itself became the greatest killer. Far beyond the grassland stood an ancient volcano. For generations, it had remained silent, but deep underground, pressure continued building. The earth was preparing for catastrophe. At first, the signs were small. Strange tremors shook the ground. Birds abandoned the forests. Herds of mammoths moved away from a valley. Experienced hunters sensed danger, but could not understand what was coming. Then, without warning, the volcano erupted. An enormous column of ash exploded into the atmosphere. Lava burst from the mountain in glowing rivers. Shock waves traveled across the land, knocking trees to the ground. The sky darkened within minutes. For the prehistoric tribe living nearby, escape became a desperate race against time. Families grabbed whatever they could carry. Hunters guided children and elders through burning forests. Hot ash filled the air, making every breath painful. Flaming rocks crashed from the sky like deadly meteors. Many animals never escaped. Giant deer collapsed from heat and smoke. Predators and prey ran side by side in terror. Nature no longer followed its normal rules. Survival became the only instinct. The tribe eventually reached higher ground near a rocky cave. From there, they watched the destruction below. Their entire hunting territory disappeared beneath lava and ash. But even after the eruption ended, danger remained. Food became scarce. Rivers were poisoned with volcanic debris. Thick ash blocked sunlight, killing plants across the region. The survivors faced hunger, cold nights, and uncertainty. Yet early humans adapted. Using intelligence and teamwork, they searched for new water sources and safer shelter. They learned to survive in one of the harshest environments imaginable. The eruption destroyed their old life, but it also made them stronger. Imagine waking up one morning and seeing the entire mountain explode. That's exactly what happened to prehistoric humans millions of years ago. At first, the signs seemed harmless. Small earthquakes shook the ground. Animals acted strangely. Birds disappeared from the sky. Then the volcano erupted. Boom! Fire blasted thousands of feet into the air. Lava exploded from the mountain. Ash clouds turned daytime into darkness. Burning rocks crashed across the forest like meteors. The prehistoric tribe had seconds to escape. Families ran through smoke, while giant mammoths stampeded beside them. Saber-toothed predators roared in panic. The heat became unbearable. Some people covered their faces with animal skins just to breathe. But the worst part was the lava. Massive rivers of molten rock moved across the valley, destroying everything. Homes vanished instantly. Forests burned to ashes. Rivers boiled from the extreme heat. The tribe climbed dangerous cliffs, searching for safety. One wrong step meant death. Behind them, the volcano continued exploding with unstoppable power. Finally, the survivors reached a cave high above the burning valley. Inside, they waited in complete darkness while the mountain roared all night long. When sunrise finally came, the world outside looked completely different. Ash covered the land like snow. The forest was gone. The river was black. Their home had disappeared forever. But somehow they survived the Inferno. The ground trembled beneath their feet long before the mountain exploded. Deep in the prehistoric valley, a tribe of early humans hunted quietly near the river, unaware that death was waking beneath the earth. Birds suddenly screamed into the sky. Mammoths began running without direction. Even the saber-toothed predators fled in panic. The oldest hunter stopped and looked toward the distant mountain. Smoke rose from its peak like a black serpent twisting into the sky. A loud crack echoed across the valley. The earth split open near the tribe's camp. Children screamed as hot steam burst from ground. The tribe leader shouted for everyone to run toward the cliffs. But the volcano erupted before they could escape. A massive explosion shattered the mountain. Fire and ash blasted into the sky. Burning rocks rained down across the forest. Trees burst into flames instantly. Rivers boiled. Animals crashed through the jungle trying to survive. The tribe ran through smoke so thick they could barely breathe. A mother carried her child while ash covered her face. Hunters used animal skins to protect themselves from the heat. Every second felt like the end of the world. Then came the lava. A glowing river fire flowed down the mountain, swallowing everything in its path. The tribe watched helplessly as their shelters burned. Spears, tools, and food disappeared beneath the molten rock. Their home was gone forever. The survivors climbed into a dark cave high in the cliffs. Inside, they listened to the terrifying roar of the volcano through the night. Some prayed. Some cried. Some believed the spirits of the earth were angry. By morning, the valley had changed forever. Ash covered the land like snow. Dead trees stood black against the red sky. But the tribe had survived. Exhausted and hungry, they stepped out of the cave and looked toward the smoking mountain. They were alive, but their world would never be the same again.